So in the 360 process, it's a point in time. There's some companies that administer this annually, maybe every 2 years, biannual process. We have 2 reports that are available, a summary and then a coaching, 23 pages. It really integrates the natural behavior to the performance measurement, gives the leader some real key items, sort of almost guided steps to help them, provides a summary of the top 10 leadership strengths based on the person's self-assessment and what people rated them on, and then the struggles. It'll show you the top 10 on each of those. And then the written feedback, which we've talked about. And then a dashboard of the items that show if there are a gap of 2 or more, you really want to know what those are. And then the manager's rating is always listed. And the feedback is actually 100% anonymous because you don't really know what people are rating. It sort of shows the self-rating, then each person is grouped in a group, like your direct reports will be in a group. But I will say the one thing I do know common is that people, when they're writing comments, usually the manager knows who's writing these comments. It's quite interesting that they know the personality and if it's coming, but that's not really the job, is to be detective about who wrote comments. You're just trying to make sure that they understand the intention of it. This is what it looks like. It does take about 15 to 30 minutes to complete for each person, 75 items over 7 key areas. And we measure those key areas over job competency, results, effective communication, how much they develop relationships, leader EQ, trust, and business values. Really pretty cool, those 7 areas. And they show up in this spider graph here. So you can see the snapshot is the 7 areas, this person's self-assessment, and it's a score out of 7. So they didn't rate themselves as a 7 on everything. Seems like they probably put some thought into that. They rated themselves low in a couple of areas. And then this is what other people see them as. And these are the 7 areas. And then in the spider graph, you can see it's really not out of balance from where people, it's just a couple of points. I've seen it where, and I'm sure Hugh, you've seen it, where it's very lopsided. You don't always see it in that more kind of in all areas. There's definitely some development opportunities there. Spider graph summarizes the self-assessment, the people that rated you. The scores towards the center of the graph are the lowest, where there are struggles. You want to address the 2 areas that are really scoring, the 2 that are the lowest, and then it'll give you the SPI, which I'll walk you through. And this is what it looks like. It actually shows up on the report. This person is an 82, so the opportunity here, the gap is 18%. And it's a calculation. It's a very sort of scientific weighting of this SPI scoring. And this is actually the calculation. So you can see here is where the 82 shows up.
And maybe if I just help out Leon with this one here a little bit, that if you look at number 1, the performance pathway is really about, have you got your direction in life and work right? So you on purpose, have you got your passion, have you got your skills, can you do it, do you want to get out of bed each day and do it? That's what number 1 is about. They're the items that relate to number 1. There's a few areas that make that up, and then the second one is about that your personal growth and success and performance based on Gallup research is going to come down to how you can emotionally engage other people. And of course that's perhaps easier to do if you're outgoing, but we all can find ways, even very structured networking, to engage a lot of people, okay? But that's going to, people are what create the opportunities in life by having more conversations with people and being known to more people in various formats. Even if you expand your world online, there are ways to achieve that goal. We'll all do it differently. That's what creates the growth. And then the sustainability comes from the confidence and the wisdom. And so the confidence is about, one, do you trust yourself? That the level of self-belief. Are you able to manifest your own success? And I actually believe, in when we were putting this together, that confidence really is the key to everything. And I'll come back to that in a minute. And then the wisdom is about, do you have a framework for making good decisions? So there's the issues of character in there. Do you have a sounding board? So what's your decision-making framework? A coach can help you make more wise decisions. Because if you get into a place of making a couple of bad decisions and things go wrong, that rocks your confidence, then that's going to take you off path in terms of your direction up the top and your emotional engagement, right? And if your confidence is not right, you'll tend to not always make the best decisions, so your wisdom can be down, and you're definitely going to have more problems engaging other people and pursuing your path. So to me, a lot is very central on confidence. That's got to be strong, and thereafter, if you can engage a lot of people, then you're going to create a lot of performance growth. So that's the basis of the formula. And I think, Leon, if we go to the next slide, you can see there. So the two factors at the top, the performance pathway and the emotional engagement, are at the top. They're sort of they're the top line of the formula, and then the numerator of the formula is the confidence and the wisdom. So that's just sort of the methodology that was behind this, and this is really where, when we were working with, developing our business DNA, it was really, well, how do we make this more powerful, and how do we help people at the end of the day become more productive, improve their performance? Because that's really got to be the ROI out of doing this. And so this was our way of measuring it from a human behavioural perspective, was to measure people where they are at the Richter scale of performance. So we did research on all these items. Next.